Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I am so honored because I am here with Christine Walker from Peacetree Fiber. Is that correct? I said
These
it?
fiber adventures, yes.
Perfect. I'm so excited because I will be teaching a retreat in November in Vermont, hosted by Christine, and I can't wait to share all the details about you. Now, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more how you got into the knitting retreats, a little bit of background?
Sure. Sure. Um, like Julie said, I'm Christine Walker. I'm the owner of Peacetree Fiber Adventures. And I came into this business in 2019. I bought an established retreat business. And so I bought it. And then 5 seconds later, the pandemic hit. So it was a little bit of a rough go of it in the beginning, but here we are. And so finally in 2021, I was actually able to start having retreats in person. And we've been mostly, in the Northeast. I live in Buffalo, New York. I'm from Massachusetts originally. I love New England. I love this whole area. So we've done a lot here, but now we're starting to kind of go south, west, abroad. So it's been wonderful. It's been a wonderful experience. And I love everyone I get to meet and all the instructors I get to work with.
That's amazing. So, I have a question. What made you want to get into the knitting retreats? Had you been to one and just needed to be more involved? Like, how did that come
Yes.
about?
Yeah. So I learned how to knit like 20 years ago. So I haven't been knitting since I was like 8 years old, like a lot of people are. So I learned to knit about 20 years ago. My grandmother taught me. And, my kids were small. I was actually pregnant with my third child when she taught me. And so I dabbled in it for a lot of years. You know how you make a lot of squares and rectangles? And then I started to get kind of braver and branch out and make some other things. And I was really into yoga at the time. And I was searching for something. I had missed a fiber festival near me or something. And I stumble upon the retreat in Vermont, which was the company was called Knitting and Yoga Adventures that I bought. And she was hosting this retreat in Vermont. I called my friend Anne. We got to go to this. It's knitting and yoga and the whole thing. So we went. That was in 2016. Had the best time. Like I didn't want to leave. It was amazing. Learned so much. Bristol Ivy was the instructor the first year that I went. And it was just great. So we went every year after that. And then I was, becoming a much better knitter, more adventurous, all that stuff. And I thought to myself, how can I work in this industry? And it wasn't being a designer, just because I don't know if I'll ever be that, but I'm not that now. It wasn't being a designer. It certainly wasn't churning things out fast enough to sell. And it wasn't being a dyer, any of that stuff. So then when this opportunity came about, I was like, that's it. That's the
It was
way.
meant to be.
Yes, because my whole career has been in customer facing things, right? So I know how to create that environment. I know how to take care of people. So it was perfect.
I love that. I love
And I,
that you were first there, got to experience it as a guest, and
yep,
then take that knowledge and make it into what you wanted it to be.
exactly.
I think
Yeah,
that that's so special because sometimes not a lot of people get that opportunity to try it out first and
right.
to really love it and then have it be their business.
Exactly. Exactly. And, the previous owner, she had been in business for 16, 17 years.
Oh my
So
God.
there had been a lot of, lives touched, the whole thing. And I feel like I've taken it to another level. And I think that's really great because it's just, more people are involved, more people are attending, going different places. And I've loved every minute of it. I
That's
didn't love the pandemic that much, but I've loved
I
everything.
don't think any of us did. The only thing that we really loved about it was we had a little bit more knitting time.
Yeah.
right? We had a little bit more downtime, and so many knitters have been introduced since the pandemic. I've been
Yes,
hearing so many people when I go teach that it's like, I just started in the pandemic, and
exactly.
it's amazing that it was able to bring at least us knitters and crocheters,
Yes,
more people.
yes. It's like this is it. We planned for this. This is
We
our
got
time.
this. We've got this. We're prepared.
Yes, exactly.
No, I think that's absolutely wonderful. So you do have events going on all year round for your retreats?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. So I already had one this year in February. That was also in Vermont. I have one in April next month, North Carolina, and there's just a couple spots left for that one. And then in the end of May, I have one in Utah. So that in Park City, Utah. So that is my venture out to the West kind of experience, and that'll be great. Um, Kyle Kunike is teaching at that one. Kimberly McAlinden is teaching at the North Carolina one. Um, and then I have Greece in September, which Shayna Billow and I are partnered together to go to Greece. So that's, I mean, that's going to be the bomb. So
That's incredible.
yeah, that's going to be really, really, really cool. And one of my really good friends is coming along on the trip, and she goes to Greece all the time. She's been in love with Greece since she was a teenager, and she does a lot of work over there. So she totally mapped out the trip, all the best things to do and see. So that's going to be really, really awesome. There are a few spots left there. And then in November, back to Vermont, and we have
Yay.
Joy. Yay. So that'll be amazing. Vermont
Yeah,
is oh, Vermont is just all the feels.
that's amazing. So we are going to touch more on our retreat in Vermont. We definitely want to bring you all, like, what are the classes? There are still some spots available. I know not a ton. So if you do want to snag some spots to the retreats, definitely go on the site and book them now. Because you don't want to miss out in case other people see this and are like, well, I need to be there, right?
Yeah, so fun.
So are all of your retreats have a little bit of spots open?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So if any of these places are either local to you, somewhere you've wanted to visit, you can definitely check it out. I will also, I forgot to mention at the start, we'll link everything and all the retreats that we chat about, is also where you can find Christine and her website, all down below the video. So if you want to go and book a retreat or just get in contact with Christine, I will link everything down below and you can find it. So we are going to touch on the November retreat because I am so beyond thrilled and excited and honored. It will be my first time teaching in the US. I've
Which
been
is very
teaching kind of
exciting.
what?
It's very exciting.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm bringing my husband with me. So
Mhm.
we are going to be traveling by car. I'm like, I want to plan now. I
I know,
want to plan
right?
now. Yeah, so kid free for the weekend, and my husband loves to read, so he's going to bring books while I teach, and I think it's just going to be a magical time that we want all of you to come and join us.
Yeah. Yes.
It is November 7th to the 10th, if I'm correct.
Correct. Yeah. So it starts on a Thursday with like a Thursday evening with dinner and the kind of welcome, get to know each other, and then ends Sunday with breakfast. So
Do you want to share a little bit about the inn that we will be staying
yeah.
at?
Yeah. So I just in February we moved to a new location in Vermont, and it's Norwich, Vermont. It's the Norwich Inn. It, of course, is a building that has been there for a very long time. I mean, it's not ancient, but I mean, it's been there a long time. And they also have built some newer structures, so they have more rooms. So I actually stayed when we went in what was called the Walker House, which was funny because that's my last name, but it and so the
Perfect.
Walker House was newer, and then so that's where all the double bedrooms are, two beds in a room, and there's fireplaces and towel warmers, and it's just really nice. And then the inn itself is a big building as you would imagine it being in Vermont, and a huge front porch, and there's like living rooms with, cute furniture and fireplaces. And one thing that I think is going to be amazing, and knitters will understand this, the rooms that we're going to have our classes in, Julie, are complete windows. So lights, right?
Natural light.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like every knitter's dream. It's the whole thing is windows. So that's
Well,
going to be
let's
awesome.
all be honest.
Yes.
Knitting, Vermont, fireplace, front porch. I'm
Yeah.
just saying a big rocking chair with a cup of coffee or tea or
Yep.
something a little bit extra
Yep.
and warm fuzzy blanket and just knitting. Like
Yes.
that's all I want.
It's exactly what you're picturing in your head right now is what it is. Like it
Can't
just
wait.
is. And this, like, it's on like the main street in
Yeah.
Norwich, and it's just like the cutest, I mean, it could be fall like weather, it could be a little bit more
Yeah.
beginning wintry, whatever. Either way, it's exactly what you're picturing. The cute little New Englandy town, and there's a general store next door to the hotel. And it's called Dan and Wits. And it's this exactly what you were thinking.
Like the mom and pop.
Yes, except
Okay.
weirdly, there's like a sewing
So we're
wall.
stepping into a Hallmark movie is
Yeah,
essentially what you're
yeah,
saying.
yes. There's like a church across the street with like the town square. Like it's so cute. So
I I can't wait. I
yes,
cannot wait for I think that this is just going to be magical and one of those experiences where you go and it's just
yeah.
you
It's all
take it
the
in.
things that you think it will be. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're going to dive into some of the classes I will be teaching all weekend, and I hope to meet some of you there. If you've purchased my brand new book, which came out today, the time of recording, look at this.
Mine just came. It came right before we started today. I'm
It's
so
perfect.
excited. It doesn't even have a
Um,
crease yet in the
it's
cover because I haven't even looked at it yet.
it's it's perfect. I will be signing
Right.
copies. So if you want to come and bring your copy or purchase a copy, we're going to have everything set for you. We are going to have 2 full days of workshops
Mhm.
where we will be doing 3 different types. So we are going to have a 2-day workshop for sweater. Now, we chatted and we are going to be doing the autumn tweed pullover.
So good.
Thanks.
So good.
This, oh, I love it. It's comfy, cozy. I'm hoping to potentially bring it. Well, I'm bringing it, obviously, but
Yeah.
go take some photos like on the porch or something like that cozy vibe,
Yeah.
which I think is just perfect. So I do have a adult version as well as a mini version. Depending on what you would like to do in the class, you can pick the adult or mini version. You'll get the pattern for both. And we are going to be bringing you through everything you need to know to knit a sweater. So day one is going to focus on gauge and math, um, construction,
Measurement,
learning about what?
measurements.
Measurements, how to measure yourself, how to measure your body. All of these things are all going to be on day one. And also on day one, potentially, I think it's is it the
Lecture.
song? The lecture.
Lecture.
I'll
Dash
be doing a
busting
fun,
sock.
yeah, optional lecture if you want to come and pop in on stash busting socks. So
Fun.
yeah, how to use up your minis and how to use up your leftovers to make a unique pair of socks for yourself. You're
Because who
gonna get
doesn't have leftovers like constantly when you make a pair of socks? You have 57,000 balls
no joke. Like
of
I
the
have a
leftovers.
closet right here and I have a bag, like a bucket, and it's just leftovers.
Yes. I have
And
the very same bucket. Yes.
so I want you to actually bring those to the retreat if you're wanting to take the Stash Buster class, like bring a bag and we're going to be going through your actual palette in real time
Nice.
and to see what you can do. You know, you can do fading and marling and stripes and color work and all sorts of things that you can do with your leftovers.
I love
Um,
that.
Yeah, and then day 2 is going to be the second half of the sweater course where we are going to be casting on your sweater. So we're going to be learning about that gauge swatch and casting on and learning some stranded color work. So we're going to be casting on and you're going to get right into it. Like we're going to be learning how to carry floats, how to cast on, all of these things to really make your sweater perfect. Because I want you to leave this retreat with so much knowledge that you want to go and knit your next sweater and next sweater. Um, so yeah, so we're going to learn all about it. And in the afternoon, it is going to be a sock heel knitting class. So we're going to be going over different types of heels, what is best for people. So
That'll be amazing. I'm super psyched about a couple things. Well, I'm super psyched about all of it, but here's also why. So the sweater.
yes,
Um, I've made, I mean, I'm a pretty good knitter, and I've made yoke sweaters and I've made socks and I've made all the things, but I still have problems with tension in the yoke. So I feel as though, every time, yes, have I learned it? Sure. Could I knit it? Absolutely. Is it going to be great? I mean, who knows? But every time you learn more about it from a different perspective, right, it just gets better. So I'm excited about that because I have, like I said, I have knit yoke sweaters. I love them. I have not achieved the perfect,
perfect sweater fitting.
yeah, around my shoulders,
So that's why we're going to be diving in the day 1 is really
Yep.
going over your measurements, your body, because a lot of the times you're not casting on the right size or what
Yep.
you like. Just like a sneak peek is one of the things is a designer's positive ease in the size that recommended is exactly what it is. It's a recommendation. You don't
Right.
have to knit that size, but nobody tells you these things.
Right.
So we're going to dive in really deep into the sweater knitting. We want you to go away with the perfect fitting sweater, that you understand your body, your measurements, a pattern, how to customize. Even we may
Yes.
even touch on that, some math that you can do to customize for your body. Because I do find that it's important. We're all different, all shapes and sizes, and we should learn about those details, you know,
Absolutely.
those constructions, those key things, because I've heard so many other knitters like yourself, you knit a sweater and it doesn't really fit.
Right. Or you're aggressively blocking it to try to, make it right. And, are they beautiful? Do mine come out beautiful? Sure. But,
They're not made for you.
many a time I wish, what am I going to do? Rip it out? No. Mm-mm. It's
It'll
done.
fit somebody. It'll
Yeah.
fit
So,
someone.
it's one of those things where I just think it's for me, especially with sweaters with a yoke, which I love. And you see all of, constantly from all various designers. And I just love them, love them, love them. But I'm like, if you're going to spend that amount of money, time, et cetera, and then have it be like, it's okay,
Mm,
you know?
yeah.
So I'm excited for that. So, and let me just say this also. So I've been to many a retreat at this point, right? And worked with so many different designers and instructors, etc. I know that this is true of all the people, is that you always learn something.
Yeah.
Even if you think you're an expert at ABC, you always learn something, whether it's how to a way to hold the yarn, a way to whatever, do a yarn over, do any of those things. And I love that. I love that because there's a lot of people that come to the retreats who are amazing knitters. I say this all the time. They're better knitters than anyone's ever going to be. They're excellent. You still always learn something and you have wisdom to share, right? So there's so much friendship and community within the context of the retreat that it just kind of like allows for that level of learning and absorption, of material because everyone's kind of in it.
And that's such a good point because sometimes Christine could say one thing and you don't really understand, but you'll hear it. I'll say one thing. It's just sometimes hearing it from a different perspective, a different voice, a different way of instructions
Yep,
can really be that aha moment that you were like, oh my
absolutely.
goodness, it finally clicked.
Yes.
I was
100%.
teaching a heel flap and gusset class last fall, and you could like there was nothing better as an instructor than seeing people knitting the heel of a sock and physically seeing the aha moment in their face, like, I
Yeah.
did it. And
Yeah.
it's just that sometimes you need to sit down and really go through it with a different perspective.
Yep.
For me,
Yep.
my classes, I want you to get away one thing. As if you learn at least one thing, I will be happy. That's
Mhm.
all.
Yeah. It's great. And it just helps you to be more brave,
Yeah,
I guess. I mean, let's face it, we're using sticks and strings, and but
making
people
magic.
are afraid of different things, like you're afraid to, and I also feel like, early on in my knitting, like I was pretty new knitter. I made a Mobius cowl, and I didn't know enough to be scared of that. People see that cast on, they're like, what is even happening right now? And I just followed the directions and did it. And I didn't know enough to be scared of it. So I think that people get in their heads, oh, I can't knit a sock. I can't knit a sweater. I can't knit a whatever. Yes, you can, because you know how to knit. So you can do it. You just need to, have the support and someone in your corner just being like, yes, we're going to do this and you can do it and you know how. So, I love seeing people learning
Yep.
and
I'm
just feeling
I'm
good about what they're making.
I'm the same way. I do not like when people say I can't make that or I can't do
Right.
this. It's like you only think that because of what you've heard. Like when
Yes.
I started knitting, the first project I made was a pair of socks on double pointed needles. I had
Mhm.
no idea that was supposed to be difficult. A pair of socks
Right.
for my first ever knitting project. Taught
Right.
myself to knit. My second project was a full colorwork hat
Right.
because I didn't know it was supposed to be
Right.
difficult.
Exactly.
When you don't have that assumption and you go in with an open mind,
Yeah.
you'd be so surprised on how much you know how already how
Yes.
to do, you can
The first,
accomplish.
yes, the first pair of socks I made ever was magic loop 2 at a time. Because I was like, oh, that seems
That
efficient.
seems, yeah,
And I just did
why
it.
not?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's just nice to be able to just be like, yes, to kind of hold people up.
I couldn't agree more. So I'm just really, really excited about a retreat, and I hope that you guys are too, and are able to come and join our retreat because I think it's going to be so much fun.
Yes,
So much fun.
it is definitely so much fun.
Yeah. And meeting
Just
other
hanging out at
knitters.
night. We just like hang out at night by the fire and knit. And, you know, it the King Arthur flour is like literally around the corner. The King Arthur baking store is like 5 seconds away.
Stop.
Yes,
Are you serious?
I am 100% serious. So
So what can you
that's
buy from there?
like all the things. So they have a cafe, and we get lunch from there actually, because the hotel doesn't serve lunch, so we order in lunch from King Arthur. So we have lunch, and then they have a store and you can buy like all the mixes, all the ingredients, all the accoutrement
Oh my
from
goodness.
there.
Okay, well, thankfully I'm not going by plane and I'm going by car so that,
Exactly. It's great.
the
It's
back seat
super
of our
fun.
car.
Yeah, it's cool to go. I mean, we go all the time. It's just fun. It's just a fun experience. They have like they could, if they have classes and stuff going on, or just that they have like people baking bread and
Yeah,
making the stuff for the store, there's like big windows and you can see, and that's like 2 minutes away, around the corner.
that's incredible. It just
There's a
sounds like
knitting
the
store
perfect
just
location.
yeah, there's a knitting store just like down the way a little bit, like walking distance. Yeah, I mean, the food was good at the hotel. We went out to dinner at a little restaurant like right across the street last time, which we'll probably see if we can do again this time. It's called Carpenter in Maine. It was really good and cute. And it just depends on our size of the group because we could
Yeah,
be around 30 people. So, either way, it's just so good. You just feel like there's just something about Vermont.
absolutely. And it's a place I've traveled a lot in the US because a lot of my family is from
Yeah.
the US.
Yeah.
Vermont has been a place that I haven't been yet. So I'm really, really excited to go and experience it with all of the knitters and really make the most out of the retreat
Yeah.
and just really absorb.
So good. It's just, I can't say it enough. And if you've not experienced it ever, and my retreats are very so I've never been on a retreat that's not mine or what my business was prior to me owning it. So I can't, speak to other retreats, but I just know that like the retreats that I have are like low drama, like no drama. I don't want to say low drama, it's no drama, and it's just really like cozy and friendly and laughter and fun and and it's very not to say that you don't have free time because you do, but it's very organized, right? So I don't
Yeah,
want people having to make decisions while they're there because who wants to do that? You're coming to relax and just hang out and whatever.
absolutely.
So I don't want people to make decisions. Like this is where you're eating. This is the time that we have for free time.
Yeah.
Go to King Arthur, go to here, go to there. Scratch. Oh, that's another store. Scratch Supply Company is actually in New Hampshire, but it's like 20 minutes away. And it's a
What is that?
great little yarn store. Scratch Supply.
Scratch? Oh,
Scratch.
okay. I'm gonna write
Yeah.
that down.
Yeah, that's like 20 minutes away. So you get to go to
Perfect.
different states because it's like this big. So,
I love that.
yeah,
Perfect.
it's
So we're going
perfect.
to definitely put it down below. We hope that you guys can come and join us because
Yeah,
it is going to be fun.
so good.
Yeah.
So good.
And I want to meet you all. I want to meet so many people and knitters and knit and just enjoy that together.
Yep.
It's so magical and special. And yeah, can't put into
Yeah.
words just how amazing.
And I do want to say that the November retreat in Vermont always sells out. It is not sold out yet, but it is. It will be. It
Yeah.
always is. So keep that in mind. Just if you're thinking about coming or kind of, throwing it around, just it will sell out.
Yeah.
It
Well,
always.
I just feel so honored to be teaching there. So I want to ask you one last thing. Is there anything
Yeah.
that you wanted to share, anything coming up that you're like, ooh, tease about, anything? Or also, where can people get notified for any upcoming retreats and they want to sign up first? Do you have a newsletter? Do you have anywhere that people can sign up for?
Oh, yes. So if you go to my website, which Julie will link below, there is a little button to sign up, subscribe to the newsletter. I do not send millions of newsletters. You will not be getting inundated with, mail from me. But I try to do once a month. And of course, I always do talk about upcoming retreats and different things that are going on. I post on Instagram pretty frequently. Retreat related things and also just knitting related things. And from a sneak peek standpoint, I'm working on 2025 already, and we do have a retreat in Italy in May of 2025. So that is something to keep in the back of your head. So that's going to be amazing in La Marche, Italy. And it's going to be very different from the Greek one. The Greek one is like all the Athens and Sunio and the museums and the things. And the one in Italy is going to be more like it's in a boutique hotel in a little village. We have, a little studio all to ourselves, and they do a lot of watercolor and different painting retreats there. So you can but imagine the landscape if that's what they're doing there. So,
That's just
it's gonna be
like
amazing.
bucket list dream.
I know.
Okay, so we're all marking our calendars for May of 2025.
May
you
30th,
know.
2025. That is on my website too. I did put the Italy trip on the website. I just
Okay.
haven't like hard launched it yet, but
Yeah.
it is launched. It is
Okay.
so launched.
All right. Well, we'll keep that all in mind.
Yes.
I just want to say a massive thank you to you for coming on the podcast and having me at your retreat. It's such an honor, and I can't wait to meet all of you. Again, I will link everywhere. You can find Christine, her Instagram, her website, the retreats, everything down below the video. And yeah, make sure you go and follow Christine as well on Instagram. So I'll link her there. Go and follow, give her some love. And yeah, so until next
We
time.
can't wait. We're so thrilled you're going to be there.
Oh my goodness, I'm so
Can't wait.
excited.
It's going to be good.
All right. Well, until next time, everyone, happy knitting.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.